Hey friends, my name is Marissa. My preferred name is Nico. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and they. I'm a cisgender, non-conforming lesbian from Houston, Texas. Some of you may know me as a server and a bartender. Others may know me from karaoke. To some, I'm family. To others, I'm family. Regardless of how, when, or where we might have met, I'd like to take some time to introduce you to a side of me that you might not know. The side of me that operates and advocates at the intersection of faith and queer identities. Now, a trigger warning is in effect for the entirety of this journey. Trauma, mental health struggles, suicidal ideation, self-harm are all topics that will come up. Please remember to take care of yourself. Pause this video if at any point you are triggered, come back to it if you are grounded, or leave it for another time. Either way, I appreciate you and you're loved. I uh, I never felt like I belonged in church. It wasn't just the sermons or the prayers. It was every detail and how they didn't seem to align with me. From the stiffness of the clothes, talking about the flower dresses that I would wear, to the rigid, hard pews that were just comfortable enough for me to fall asleep in, to the language that never really spoke to me because I did not understand the King James version of the Bible. It always really felt like I was on the outside looking in at myself sleeping. No, but I always felt like I was on the outside looking in. One of the earliest memories that I have being in church was my baptism. I remember that this was supposed to be a moment that would signify renewal, like rebirth, and just like it's supposed to be a joyful celebration type of experience. Yet all that I can remember was the sharp burning of water rushing up my nose, the sensation of drowning, and what lingers longer than that, it was something that cut even deeper. It is the distrust. So I saw my pastor holding the noses of other kids, guiding them into the water and bringing them up, but not me. There was no explanation, no reassurance, just a realization that either one, I had done something wrong, or two, I was different, or maybe a combination of both. At the time, I didn't know that my discomfort wasn't just about faith or being in that space. It was about it was about identity, about my identity, and the lack of words that felt right when trying to define me. I would walk into the building uneasy. How am I supposed to find comfort in a higher power when I couldn't even find comfort within myself? Growing up, I saw myself through the perception of others, and yeah, just not black enough, not feminine enough, not pretty enough, not skinny enough, simply just not enough. I let the world define me before I ever had a chance to define myself. I didn't prioritize my own voice because deep down, I didn't think it mattered. I was caught in a silent battle, one where I wasn't even sure if I was allowed to fight for myself. The love of God. The love of God was a trigger for me because, yeah, sure, God loves me, but like, there's always a catch. There's something more to prove, something more that I need to do in order to show God that I am worthy of love. And that usually involved me suffering with mental health issues in an attempt to please God. Anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation, isolation, identity crisis, just to name where I was when I was outed at 15 and shamed with my own Bible. Every day felt like stepping through a fog of uncertainty. I wasn't sure which parts of me were real and which were simply an act. Performances tailored to keep others from like probing too deep and asking the kind of questions that would further expose my differences. I performed different versions of myself that felt safe, even if it meant hiding the authentic me. I learned to adapt, to shrink myself, to blend in just enough so no one would look too closely. And the weight of that constant masquerade of wondering, who am I when I'm alone in my room and no one's watching? And does anyone even know, notice, or care that I'm dying on the inside? Anyone even know or care that I'm dying? Like, how different is too different to be loved? How queer is too queer to be seen? How lonely is it to feel alone in a crowd when you're the life of the party? How confusing it must be to have your identity ranked against others. How shameful it must be to love someone and feel disgusted with yourself for it. How hopeless it is when nowhere feels safe enough for you to be you. When the need to be seen just bleeds out to acting out and doing things in order to get attention so that someone can ask you if you're okay. I, if I could go back and hug 15-year-old me and tell her that it's going to be okay, I would. But as the years went by, I came to realize that, belonging isn't something that a church or like an institution can grant. True comfort comes from like the trials of discovering like who you are and accepting who you are, having that clarity and just self-acceptance. I believe that only when we embrace every part of ourselves, like those parts that society tries to mold and like hide and erase, can we start to begin to feel whole. The struggle to reconcile my faith with who I truly am has transformed from a source of pain to a commitment. It's a commitment to nurture and nourish every aspect of my being, flaws and all. I'm a person on a journey of healing, reconciliation, recovery. In addition to all of these things, the highlight of who I am is still a believer. Even in the midst of my biggest FUs to God, I've always been a believer. There's never been a doubt in my mind that God isn't present, that God isn't all powerful. My issue came with figuring out where I fit into that narrative of God's overall plan. I didn't think I had a place in that plan because I was told that my place was so far away from God's plan that it was hopeless. What I came to realize is that not only had I been lied to, misled, isolated, hurt, harmed, traumatized, but what I learned is that I was listening to the wrong people. How I know, me personally, I don't really like people speaking for me. If I can speak for myself, So if you have a question or a comment or a concern, please bring it to me and I will handle it. Don't take it to my brothers or my sister or my friends. Take it to me and I will tell you what's up. And that's what I was doing. I had been taking whether or not God loved me, God accepted me, or if like my gayness was sending me to super hot hell, I was taking it to people who were not going to give me the answer because they didn't have the answers. They had what they thought was the answer. When I realized that like God had been not only protecting me but pursuing me, and that he's been like molding me and shaping me, preparing me to be in a space where I can not only advocate for my brothers and sisters, but I can help heal. I can help hold space. And everything I've gone through leading me up to this point, putting me in a position to even start to try to heal deep-seated wounds that run generations. Nothing makes me more excited than knowing that at the end of the day, someone has peace of mind in knowing that their identity as a queer person, as a trans person, as a not like their identity within the LGBTQ, like that has no say in their like what's next after this life. Like, I mean, it might determine how fabulous, it is. Like, you might have more glitter than other people, who knows? But in terms of are we condemned? Are we nah. We have to take it to the right people. Stop talking to God's friends and take it straight to God. Flaming for Jesus is a nonprofit organization that was created to support LGBTQ plus individuals that have experienced religious trauma and discrimination. Now we do that through the Rise Above community. And the Rise Above community, we care. CARE. And that's an acronym that stands for creating safe, affirming spaces that respect the intersecting identities and experiences within the LGBTQ plus community. What does that mean exactly? That means that if you are a self-identifying person within the LGBTQ plus community and you've experienced some form of religious trauma, persecution, uneasiness, or any form of discrimination, then hey, we're here for you. We are a community of people who have experienced situations and hurt similar to what you're going through. Whether you're ready to join a discussion group or even have the conversation, it's okay if you're not. Simply knowing that there's other people out there like you, I think that's big enough, and that's a big enough step. And I applaud you for even making it this far in this video. But I do want you to know that you're not alone. We're here. And whenever you're ready to take that step, reach out and we'll definitely welcome you with open arms. I encourage you in all that you do to be bold, to be brave, to be proud, to believe. And just know that I love you and that you have the love, the eternal love of your divine parent.